Hey, good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Lisa, it's great to see you on Wednesday at 9:30. This is becoming a regular thing.
Think we should have written down when we started this so we'd know when our anniversary is. I feel like it's coming up.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Yeah, it might be coming up. Hmm. All
I
right.
think it was after
Well,
Memorial Day we started.
it was just after Memorial Day.
Seems vaguely familiar.
I think honestly, I do think like remember the very first show because we've gone through many developments and iterations and developing all this and where it's still I feel like we're admittedly a work in progress. Always trying to get better,
Yes.
and so I recall like I think when we were back on Zoom we did up until about like a summer when there was a Memorial Day, June kind of summer, and then maybe we had like a 2 week break or something. I think we took, and then we came back on this
Maybe after
different
Labor Day.
format.
Is that your long, polite way of saying no, Lisa, you're wrong? It wasn't Memorial
No,
Day, it
I'm
was
trying
Labor
to
Day.
just no, it's not. I'm trying to
Very
recall.
tactful.
All right. Well,
We'll look.
welcome.
All
Great
right.
to
So
see everyone again for a Wednesday, the show on Wednesday at 9:30 with Chuck and Lisa. And we've been talking a lot about Instagram lately.
yes. We've been talking about marketing, right?
True. Right.
And networking and making sure that people know you're in the business and how do you get the word out about your properties, about yourself, and what are the ways to stay current with that?
Right, because I'm still on the high from HannahCon. I kind of say that every week, and that was a big thing at HannahCon was, being visible, 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 visible. You have to be seen, or you can't be a secret agent. Visibility, and like in pro sports, they say availability is the best ability because they get injured so much. But in here in real estate, no, there's no question that visibility is the best ability.
Yes.
And so we've been working on some things personally in our own businesses, in our own extra lives, um, to help to create some things and see what kind of reaction we got. So so tell me about what you did. What did you do?
So I tried two different things because and that's what I hope people also take from this is like you and I, we're an hour and a half apart
Hmm.
geographically, we're years apart age-wise, and we've got different opinions on things, right? So you might try one thing and I might try something different, and then someone out there might say, "Oh, how about this third or fourth thing?" So we can all try different ones. So I did two videos in the last couple weeks. So the first one I did through CapCut, and it was for my Rotary Club. We had a function for a district conference, and so I took some pictures and video there, and I used CapCut to put them together and make a little show about it. Thank you about that. And so it went okay. Then last week, my older child turned 30, and so in taking some pictures. At his birthday and with his cake, I took some pictures and I thought, okay, let me try this because you and I had been talking, Chuck, about just using Instagram. That was something actually that came up too from another one of the other leaders down country from us in Virginia was just use the Instagram reels and try that. So I took, and you know what I did, Chuck, because I wasn't thinking I'm going to make a reel out of this when I was taking pictures of my son blowing out the candles on his cake. But on my iPhone, my photo setting was set to live, which if you have an iPhone, on that live feature, it records a little bit and gives you an end product. Side note, you can also edit those. If you don't like the pose that your phone picked as the final result, you can change that. So in any event, when I loaded those live setting photos onto the Instagram reel, it turned it into a video. And I actually got the coolest. I mean, he bent down, blew out the candles, and stood back up in that live photo. And so I was able to make that. And so it was a good way to practice. I shared it on Instagram, shared it on Facebook, and I know you have some thoughts, Chuck, about how many people you reach at an event. And so why don't you talk a little bit about that, and then we both
Sure.
can talk about what our results were.
That's really interesting because one of the things like when you're capturing video is the start and stop of the shutter, right? And you got to hit the start, and then you capture some video, and then you got to stop it. And that live, like I never thought about that way, but that live photo just automatically, is it 1 second that the shutter's open?
It seems I've never timed it, Chuck.
I think it's about 1 second. So you could be at a thing and you could create 30 1-second snips and just add them all to a template and throw a song behind it. And you've got a 30-second video of just boom, boom, all the way through. That's a very effective. I've mentioned before, so this morning we're doing Fast Start here in Rochester. I'm at the Academy. And I know last time when when I do the marketing class and talk about making video, I tell everybody, I say, don't open your shutter, walk all through the house and create 1 5-second long cut, right? Because if you watch a show, when they edit our shows and our movies, each little piece, I start counting 1, 1,000, 2, and as soon as they do they do tons of hard cut to the next person, the next scene, the next car crash, whatever. It's usually I rarely get to 3. I'm always starting over at 1, 1,000, 1, 1,000, 2, 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 1, 1,000, 1, 1,000, 1, like I'm literally, that's how those go. And so I love this idea of just using the live, which it would just, I'm going to have to get used to this because I'll be honest with you, I hate that function. Like when I get stuck taking photos on live and I don't realize it and I've taken like 10 photos on live. But maybe I'll learn to love it.
I love the live. And
okay.
All right, you know
now
what
I have
else?
a use for it. Before I didn't have a use for it. Maybe now I do.
Well, it also helps you when you've got action, right? So I did
Sure.
some pictures of my sister's dogs because I made big giant photos of their dogs for a Christmas present. And dogs move a lot. They don't sit still for their photo. So when you have the live setting, you can change like which freeze you want, you know?
Right.
So I actually like the live setting because I think it allows me as the photographer to choose which pose do I want.
Right.
So I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. So what I did, what I did here, let me see if, yep. So what I did is I used, we talked about this, I think a little bit last week, and I want to hear like, if you tried it, tell us your experience. How did it work for you? But I loved learning about the green screen filter option on Instagram. And so I capture a little piece of real estate data, news, headline, I don't know, whatever. And I screenshot it on my phone, I have an iPhone, so I just hit my power button and my volume up button to save a screenshot. And then I go to Instagram and I start a reel, and then I hit camera and I choose green screen for my background, and then I change background to that screenshot. And then I just say what I got to say. I have my reel set to a maximum of 90 seconds. But you could go, I think it's anywhere from 15 seconds to 90 seconds. So I did it, and, it took me a couple tries. It's okay. I didn't like the first one. Oh, I forgot to say that. Oh, I got stuck, got paused, whatever. And I didn't really want to do any editing. I just wanted a nice, smooth cut. But eventually I did get it done. It took me about 10 minutes. And then I let it go. Right. And then you just see how the world reacts to it. And this is my data. So I had and Instagram makes checking your insights super easy, which is one of the things I love about it. But here you got 191 total plays. I reached 115 accounts. I mean, that's for something that just took me 10 minutes, and I'm guessing that the more and more I do it, I'll get better and better. And the next time I'll get it down to 5 minutes, 3 minutes. Eventually I'll get it down to, hey, one and done. First try, publish, zing, move on with my life. Right. But I got 115 accounts and just a few reactions, because I really wasn't saying, I didn't produce it in a way to be a shock necessarily, or I didn't do a poll, like I didn't put a poll or something like that to get people to help them, to entice them to interact more. But you had initial plays here was 100 and I can't even see that, 20 something or 30 something, and I had 52 replays. So I mean, I'm really happy with those metrics. 115, people might say, oh my gosh, only 115, but listen, I'm not trying to build 1 million subscribers. My
Right.
gosh, my life, I can't imagine my life if that's what it was. I'm not trying for that. I really am really just, if you said to me, Chuck, let me help you do something that'll get 100 people in the room, I'll say, sign me up.
Right.
That's exactly what this content that we create does. And they're making it so easy to just grab our phones, do a quick snip, talk about whatever your passion is, talk about not, and the other thing too, that I think will really help get people off the hump. And I watched one of these from Jared James a few days ago, and he was on the top, and he was sharing something from Gary Vee, who was down below, and it was how to get over how to get over the hesitation of putting yourself out there, of doing it. And they said Gary Vee, and if you don't know Gary Vee, you should look him up and watch a couple of his videos. But he's great. But they said, listen, bro, it's not about you. Right? You're not doing it for you. You're doing it because they need to hear it. Right? You think of your audience. What do they need to hear? What do our buyers need to hear right now? What do our sellers need to hear right now? Maybe they need to hear that, what? You're so lucky to live in Buffalo. You're so lucky to live in Rochester because we have an amazing realtor community. I'm proud to be a part of it, right?
Yeah. I think they need to see confidence. They need to see, like, yes, we're thrown into a lot of changes right now that maybe we wanted, maybe we didn't, whatever, but it's happened, right? We've got the what, so what, now what? So we need to show that we can handle anything, right? Like,
right.
We're not too set in our ways to learn new ways to market your home, new ways to reach out to people. I mean, and I too, like when you talk about those comments, I would say to anybody who's watching, think about yourself and think about the amount of time that you spend, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's TikTok, whether it's Facebook, whatever. How many things do you see before you comment? I'm going to say a lot, right?
Yeah.
So you're enjoying it. You're watching it. You're just not making a comment. So don't worry that people aren't commenting on your stuff because they're still absorbing it. Those numbers popped up and I was trying to read them. Like it will tell you how many people were already following you. They know you, and how many were new, right? So those are new people who didn't know who you were before you shared that. And now it's like, oh, Chuck Flynn, I know him, Irondequoit Chuck. If I'm thinking real estate, that made an impression.
Yeah. What really, I remember being at HannahCon at Jared's session in the morning, the 8:00 session, and I'd never heard it articulated this way. And it really was impactful. And he said, you might have 30 impressions or 30 interactions or 40 or 50, or, in this case, we had almost 120 different accounts reached. And it says like 40% of those accounts were people that followed me, and 60% of those accounts were people I'm not connected with. Right. Now in the world of, now you might be looking at, if you're in the world and you're watching other accounts and you're, watching creators and they've built these amazing, huge audiences. But what about your audience? That audience I had of 100 to 200, it looks just like this. This is that. And if you said to me, Chuck, we can get that many people to see your thing that you just made for 90 seconds. Would you want to do that?
Yeah.
I'd say it's a big hell yeah. Right? Like there's just no question. And so next week, I just got to do it again.
Yes.
And the next week, I got to do it again.
Yes.
And it's okay to, make mistakes every once in a while. And it's okay to miss a week. It's okay. But you come back and you just keep doing it consistently over and over. And eventually what happens is it can't, like, you literally don't have to do almost anything else, but you will build an audience, right? And your audience, that's your SOI, that's your sphere. Those are the people that you're going to be top of mind with. And that's the whole business, top of mind.
Right.
you know?
Right. And there, we think about the relationship. We always say it's a relationship business, right? So let people know a little bit about you, and when you share things about yourself that speak to the type of person you are, that's really good, like,
Yeah.
so keep that in mind. We talk, and what I love about it too is you gave people that information, but they got to choose when they wanted to watch it. I think back to many of us, you know, the days of a buyer seminar. Come to our home buyer seminar, and we would say it's going to be, or even for you and I, Chuck, bringing agents into the business, career seminars. Come to our career seminar this day and this time. We used to do them at hotel banquet rooms, right? But if you
Yeah.
were not available that day and that time, you didn't get the information. With what we have going on in the world today, we throw out, hey, want to learn about real estate? Text me and we'll set up a time that works for you. That's the same thing that you're doing here. I'm giving you some information. If you want to know more details, if you want to know how this impacts you personally, text me, reach out, and we'll go over this one-on-one. So what you're doing is you're adapting to your clients' needs. And that's the message you're sending, is that my job is to work with you the way you want to be worked with, right? It's like that
Right.
golden rule versus the platinum rule. Treat them
Right.
the way they want to be treated.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know. I remember that. Who came up with the platinum rule? I mean, how long is that? I remember growing up with the golden rule, and then somebody says, I mean, how does that even happen? Anyway, I don't
Yeah.
know.
No, but so that's huge. And so again, like,
Hmm.
try something, try anything. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you will be, the more you'll realize that, and I think about it, Chuck, like this morning I'm getting dressed and I was like, oh yeah, we have to do a video. Like, I used to get so stressed out those days, right? What
Yeah.
am I going to wear? What if my hair is bad? What about this? And now I'm just like, it's me. Oh, bless you.
Sorry.
See, I never worried about, is there pepper in the air that I'm going to be sneezing all day? But yeah, so just the more you do it, like if you would have told me, like you said, when we first started this, when, Charlene Zarate started this and I was just in the background, and not even on camera. And I was nervous, like, as everybody getting, changing this scenes at the right time and PowerPoints. And it was a lot of work. But the longer you do it, the better we got at it. Again, using me, just creating a couple videos a week ago, the second one was easier than the first. And then it's that mindset, right? Like what I discovered, and Chuck and I were practicing a little bit over the weekend. Again, just we're talking on the phone. I've got it on speakerphone so I can do what he's telling me to do. And I'm playing around with the Instagram, and he's saying, pick a picture for the background. So as I mentioned, I was in Washington, D.C. last week. I'm like, I'm going to make myself standing in front of the Capitol. That will be pretty cool. Well, the pictures that I had of the Capitol were not the right format. They were not the right spacing. It made me look like I was standing in front of orange cones, like I was blocked from the Capitol. So that's not a good message. So you're going to take pictures differently, right? You're going to, like, in your mind, it's like, this is going to be for later. I have to go to a function at Chestnut Ridge Park this week. I'm going to take some pictures that while I'm there that are going to be with the intention of being background, right? So when we all take pictures differently, right? I'm taking pictures of my kids on an event. I'm taking, dog photos, rotary photos, but now in the back of my mind, all right, this will be good, right? This is a good background for a green screen. I think I shared one time we went to a builder, had us all come to a model home. It was gorgeous. So I took nice photos in landscape format to be a Zoom background. I'm like, this is the most up-to-date stylish kitchen because it is, 3 months old. It is the most current trends. And I did ask, hey, do you mind if I take a picture of this? I'd love to use it for Zoom background. And they're like, no, not at all. And I was Murano Homes. So I'm happy to give them credit for the beautiful kitchen. So it's starting to just think differently. What am I going to use to promote, right? If you are like we have great graphics from both of our MLSs, from RPR, our kinds of things. If in your town, the average or the median sale price, house size, all of those different things, and you have a friend or someone with a house similar to that, like, hey, could I take a picture of your house? I'd love to use it as the background. This house is 2,200 square feet, 3 bedrooms, bath and a half, priced at $289,900. This is the median house in my town.
Yeah. I want to see you, because you go to Washington. Do you go, is it every year for the roundup,
Hopefully.
hopefully, right? If they invite you back, you didn't get kicked out of DC, did you? Next time, I want to see you in front of the big purple rooster on top of the National Art Gallery.
Oh,
There's a big piece of art. It's on the roof. You gotta get up on the roof. So, yeah. So there's that. So
Yeah.
the other thing too, Lisa, I want to mention is, like you mentioned, we kind of chatted over the weekend about this, and and because it's fun. I'm gonna say it's funner. It's a lot more fun to do it when you have a partner, somebody you're kind of working together on this, right? When you learn something that is fantastic, it'll be great for your business and your sphere, and it'll be great for someone else in their business and their sphere, and you'll get joy from sharing it with them. You're not going to learn anything, and you're the only one who knows it. And if you don't tell anybody, it's going to give you some hyper advantage in the business. So get a real estate partner, work, do stuff back and forth, bounce ideas. I did this. And then they go, oh, you did that? Well, now I'm going to do this. And you because we're competitive, right? We're in real estate. That's part of the reason we love this business. So,
right. But we also like to work together. I had an agent at another company call our office. We've got, I think, 4 people from 3 different companies, all co-branding our Twilight Open House, because we all have houses in the same area. And so a marketing piece with 3 different company logos, right? Like, hey, let's work together. We all want to get these houses sold. We all want to help our sellers. Like, let's work together on it.
Because that's what's best for the market, right?
Yes.
And that's our platinum rule, right?
Yes.
That's the realtor's platinum rule. The market, whatever's best for the market, that's what we do.
Yeah.
So, so we got a realtor's platinum rule now. I just came up with that.
All right. We can say you invented that, because I have never heard that before.
It was only through your inspiration. All right, I got to roll. I got to do fast start here. These guys, I can't wait.
So let's put we used to give homework. We used to give people to work on every week. Let's just say, make some videos, share them on our page. Like, let's get them, and let's share what each other's doing. Get out there, make your videos, post them on our page.
Absolutely. I agree. Make a video and then and share it, and we can talk about. You can make a comment that was your insights. I got this many views, this many from my connections, this many from outside my sphere. It's all there in your insights, and it's super easy.
Yes.
So yeah, let's do that.
It really says underneath your little thing, view insights. You tap it, and it's right there.
That's awesome.
Super
all right,
simple.
Well, let's do it. I can't wait till next week. All right, we'll keep going on this. All right.
All right.
All right. Cheers, everybody.